In this tutorial we are going to be learning how to join our granny squares using an invisible seam. Now mine are looking a little bit bedraggled because my cat got hold of them, but these have been made using my sunflower granny square video tutorial, which I will leave a link to in the description too down below. It's a really super simple technique. It can work on any style of granny square, and it's really easy and quick to work up. You don't even need a crochet hook. Now to make your seam invisible, you're going to want to use a yarn that matches the outside colour of your granny square. So the same yarn as what you've used on the very external edge. However, for this tutorial, I'm going to be using a brighter colour just so it's easy to see exactly what I'm doing. So the first thing you're going to do is take your two squares and lay them face up in front of you. All of your squares will have a front and a back. It's generally quite easy to tell the difference between the two. One's a lot neater than the other. You're then going to take your squares and lie them one on top of the other with the faces touching. Okay, so if I flip this over again, I've got a back on both sides. I'm then going to take my yarn, and I like to work with maybe a 60 centimetre section, about 2 foot, but you can work in as long or short pieces as you like. It just depends how willing you are to tie in your ends. So we're going to take our needle, we're going to thread it, and we're going to look at the top edge of our squares. So in my corners I've got 2 chain squares making that curve. We're going to start in the corner, and I like to start on the second chain essentially that you would have done as you went around that corner. So we've got the first one here and the second one here. I'm going to begin in there, the second one. It's important that when you pop your needle through this stitch, you're doing it through the back loops only. By that, I mean the loop, this V-shaped loop here, the one that's next to the external side of your square. So, I'm going to pop my needle into this first V on the edge and pull it through. And then I'm not going to go through this first stitch in the V on the other side. I'm going to put my needle under the second, because that is the one on the outside. Okay, so this is the back of my square, and you want to make sure you're working into the back loop. And then going to continue that. So I'm going to come round, working into the next one, put my needle in, and then pop my needle into the back loop on the other side and pull it through. I'm going to continue back down now, so back loop only, back loop only. I'm going to continue this all the way down my square, making sure I'm working through the right loops as I go along. So you can see here, I've just finished seaming these 2 squares together, and you can see what it looks like before we open it out. So at this point you might want to tie off and begin a new piece of yarn. But as you can see here, when we open it out, we've just got these little horizontal stitches that go across. And if we were working in a yarn that matched our external colour, you wouldn't be able to see that at all. So with that is the end of our tutorial. If this is something that you have enjoyed learning and you plan to make something with this technique, I would love to see it. You can follow me on Instagram, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.